couple of amazing points there I want to unpick, and I think the first one is, don't build a business that you want to sell. Build a business that somebody wants to buy. Because who's looking to exit in the room at some point? Okay, so 90% of the room here. So what are investors or people that buy businesses looking for when they buy a business? And if you kind of relay that to construction, what do you think these guys need to do? Is there kind of principles across all businesses that need to be implemented for it to be able to be bought? Or is there specific niches in specific sectors?
Yeah, so if you're trying to acquire a company, and don't forget, one way to grow is that you might decide you want to grow your business, right? And we talked about this earlier as well. You've hit a local ceiling or whatever it might be. Someone in this room can acquire other people's businesses in this room. Non-organic, on that quick point, is one way of growing your own business. So you might say to everyone at your table, I'm going to grow non-organically now. Here's some money. Here's a structure to buy their business, and you can grow that way. And then you put them all together, you take out your central costs, so you've got more synergy, more profit, then you flog a bigger business. But to answer your question, which I haven't done yet, so what people are looking for, obviously, is growth, margin, and a team. So often, in construction, till you get to a certain scale, lots of different sectors, and the business can be very much evolved around you. So you've got to start thinking now about, what does this business look like if I get hit by a bus? Does it carry on? Otherwise, when you sell your business, what happens is the acquirer will say to you, great, here's some money, but because you're so important, I want a 3-year earnout. Yeah. And typically with earnouts, to give you some almost legal advice, not official legal advice, but some experience, think about earnouts is, if you think about an earnout, I'm going to give you more money over time based on profit. If you don't control that P&L, the acquirer does, how the hell do you control the bottom number, which is what your profit, your capital gain is being calculated on? So if your acquirer, the person who owns your company, says to you, I'm picking numbers right now, here's 2 million quid, we'll pay another £1 million over the next 3 years based on profit, and they start messing around with your marketing budget, they start recruiting more people, and your profit's going down, what you get at the end of it goes down as well. Yeah. So my advice on earnouts is that, and I've seen this happen on both sides of the equation, is the initial money you get, if you're not happy with it, sort of don't take it. Because don't assume you'll ever get the rest. Because often those earn-out, you end up in court arguing about it. So that's really important. So one is about growth, one is about margin, one is about a succession plan. Can you step out of the business? And what you have to do there is, is almost productize what you do. So it's the company, it's the brand, it's the service, it's the quality of your work. It's not so much about you. And often when you start out, it is. But it's very hard to build and exit businesses if it's just you. You can do, but they're going to try and tie you in for probably longer than you want to be tied in. That was a long answer to your question.
No, it's absolutely brilliant. You get some really fantastic pieces of advice there. So when you're trying to, on average, how many years forecasting do you think you need in place to be able to show growth? Depending on obviously the size of the exit and the size of the money, but is it 1 year? Do they want 3 years? Do you need to have all of the answers? Can it just be an idea, or will they need to see proven revenue within that piece?
So if you think about when you're paying for a business, the more security you have, more confidence in the growth, the revenues, the margin, the management team, the more you're willing to pay for it, essentially. Yeah. So in tech, you'll see companies that are 2 years old and they get bought out because there's intellectual property or the grain like that. So let's call them more sort of traditional businesses, the longer you have, and because often when you start a business, let's face it, we've all been there, the first couple of years, no matter how hard you run at it, it's quite slow growth. And then in tech we call it product market fit. You realise that your product, which in this case is your work, your quality of work, what you do, your team, and your market, your customers, local, wherever they are, they connect. Something connects. And then once you get them connected, you think, okay, and that's what you've been training people on as well, is how do you then implement sales and marketing strategies to grow it? So you know the product, you know the customer, and I always say the hardest thing often is to align the two. So your product's not quite right, the quality's not quite right, you're not marketing to the right customers, but eventually when they align, then you can scale your business. So the longer you've got records that show that growth, and ideally growth that is ticking up, the more willing they are to pay for it.
Yeah.
So without boring you with theory, right? A business is worth the discounted cash flow of all of its future profits out into infinity, essentially. So when you model this in finance, you tend to look at the next sort of 5-10 years.
Yeah.
You model it, and after that, it's just a kind of a number you add on the end of it. It's quite a small amount. And the way
So are you going to tell us how to work that out? Or
then I'll really bore you.
Yeah.
but the easy way to understand it, when you hear people talk about multiples, revenue multiple, profit multiple, EBITDA multiple, operating profit multiple. So all a multiple is an easy way of doing that. Basically saying that I'm willing to pay you, I don't know, 10 times your profit for your business. And the way that works is that they're willing to pay you 10 times because everybody in that market is willing to pay 10 times.
Yeah.
So they kind of know that that's a multiple that kind of works.
So industry multiple.
Yeah, as long as your business fits into that box that they're looking at, which is this kind of growth, this kind of size, this kind of margin, you fit in a box, here's your industry multiple, and they apply it. Now the beauty of going back to my non-organic, which is buying companies yourself, actually, something worth looking at, is that say you're quite small, you might only get 5 times, right? So you can buy companies to do what you do at 5 times their profit because they haven't got massive scale. And then you put them together. You take out central costs, so you don't have to have 2 finance departments. You do take those out, so you get more profit.
Yeah.
But the beauty of that model is that this is what private equity funds do, because it's bigger now, and there's more security. You've got more profit. You've got more people. There's more inertia in terms of growth potential. You can now sell that business at 8 times. So you're making money out of growing the profit, which you were getting 5 times on, so that's growing.
Yeah.
And then the cherry on the cake is when you flog it, you'll get another 3 times for free. Not quite free, but you get the idea.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's financial engineering. That's what people do.
Fantastic, and that's the stuff that I think really because a big part of the Trade Mastermind was helping people that started a business because they were good at the job learn about business. And without knowing the stuff that you're talking about, when you're trying to build a business, it's very difficult to know the potential destinations that you can take the business to if you don't know what the opportunities are. So everything you're saying is absolutely fantastic because it's about broadening everybody's mindset on the opportunities of where you can take your business and how you can structure buying and selling businesses on a small scale to be able to get to the same destination. Because I think everybody in this room, including myself, will have built businesses through hard work. We've come from construction in most cases, and we're used to growing and doing the work and winning more jobs and putting in more time. And so this is the stuff that we're looking to unpick from all of the mentors.
What's quite interesting, what you're seeing, this is in the US more in tech. It works in lots of other sectors. Actually, a lot of them are like Amazon companies. So there's one called Micro-Acquire, and there's a clue in the name, Micro-Acquire. And what they're doing is building a platform to enable you to sell, in the great scheme of things, smaller businesses. Businesses that are doing 300 grand a turnover, 100 grand a turnover. You go on a platform, you can sell them. So the world is changing because of technology. And what you need to do is make sure, going back into your other question about, you do need 3 years of when you're trying to sell a company, so you're selling me a company, right? We have a shareholder agreement. Yeah. A share transfer agreement normally. And I buy it, and I give you a list of questions saying, have you got that? Any skeletons in the closet? Blah, 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 blah. And you say no. Apart from maybe this is called disclosure letter. Yeah. What I'm trying to do is understand any skeletons in the closet, and if one pops up, it adjusts the price. So in any exit agreement, there's a price adjustment mechanism there called warranties. Yeah. So the point I'm making is you want to make sure when you're looking at selling a business of any size that you've cleared your decks, it's clean. Because they're going to, no matter how smart you think you are, unless they're useless at what they do and they've got rubbish lawyers, they're going to find out. And it could be a tax liability, it can be there's an employee claim outstanding. So you don't want people to find skeletons in closets because it's like anything else. You're buying a car or a van. And you open it, you used to open it, when you open it, there's nothing to see anymore. Yeah. Back in the day, you open it, you go, hang on a minute, it doesn't look right.
Kick the tyres, check it out.
Yeah, you get nervous, so you don't want to pay as much. It's the same with business.
Absolutely fantastic.